All right. All right. That's a nice win for the Utah Jazz over the Boston Celtics. It looked like they might have figured a few things out against a Boston Celtics team that got Marcus Smart back. This is the Hoops Nerd postgame show. All right, guys. I went early. Isn't the first time. Hey. But anyways, that the Utah Jazz get a nice win against the Boston Celtics. That was an impressive win considering what happened in the first quarter. But before we talk about the Jazz, let's talk about the Celtics. It was nice to see Marcus Smart back. I was happy to see, because you always want to see these teams. You want to see the Jazz play against the Boston Celtics or whoever they're playing at full health. And I know that the Celtics have had so many different lineup changes and all sorts of different things. And you could argue they're not even at full health with what's going on with Kemba Walker. But it was just nice to see Marcus Smart back on the floor, because I think he's one of the big things that really helps this Celtics team go. He really is he's an all defensive player, whether first, second, or third team. I don't really know if it matters, but he is that level of defender that really helps out their team defensively. I think he's really like a glue guy for all they do. He passes the ball, because honestly, and I know Jayson Tatum and Jaylen Brown are awesome. And they have some playmaking ability. Probably Jayson Tatum. Obviously Jayson Tatum has a little more playmaking ability than Jaylen Brown, but they're both really elite level wings that really need kind of a guy that can move the ball. That's why they miss Gordon Hayward. That's why he was an important part of their team. And I think the Gordon Hayward thing is just an example of, what? Sometimes and we talked about this last time the Jazz played the Celtics, but sometimes, guess what? You've got to overpay your guys that help you win the series. Because guess what? Everyone talks about like, oh, you can't pay Gordon Hayward this. Oh, you can't pay for the Utah last offseason. Oh, you can't pay Rudy Gobert this. You can't pay. How could you pay Rudy Gobert near a supermax? Well, because guess what? If you don't, then you don't have that player on your team next year. And so maybe that's one thing I don't ever understand with fans sometimes is like we cheer on not overpaying a player. What do we care as a fan? Like, what do I care if Ryan Smith for the Jazz, who owns the Jazz, overpays to keep someone on the team? What do I care? If anything, that benefits me. I shouldn't be like cheering because if I'm a Celtics fan, I'm cheering because like we didn't overpay a guy, so our books are great. Yay, accounting. What? If Gordon Hayward, the way he's playing on the Hornets this year, was on this Celtics team, they'd be a scary good team. And I don't know if that's another, and maybe we can just talk about that now. Let's just talk about it. I don't think Gordon Hayward was ever going to be that guy for this team, or at least with who they picked up in Kemba Walker, because Gordon Hayward, when he was on the Utah Jazz, everything was geared around his skill set. The Jazz literally designed their entire offense around enhancing Gordon Hayward, because Gordon Hayward's a good player, and you're seeing that on the Hornets this year. He's back to that Gordon Hayward Utah player that everyone talks about. But the reason that he was so good is that everything was designed around his skill set. He was like he was never better than Rudy Gobert, and I argued with people about this back then. But he was like one of the two best players on the team, and he was the number one offensive option for the Jazz. So what happens is everything's around his skill set. He's getting multiple pick and rolls. He runs them really well, and he would average 19 or 20 points per game with 5 assists and 5 rebounds, and he did that every single year with the Jazz. That's what he's doing with the Hornets. Because why? Because everything's geared around him. He's the number one offensive option, and he's one of the top 2 guys on that team. You would argue with Ball, and then they have a few nice shooters around him. Terry Rozier, who the Celtics were scared to overpay. Now he's shooting 45% from 3 or whatever it is for the Hornets. Just another example. Great job. You didn't overpay Scary Terry. Now he's flourishing somewhere else, just like Gordon Hayward. Skymaster, welcome to Rookie Man. Welcome to the channel. I appreciate it. I'm excited to hear your thoughts in the chat, and we'll get to the chat here in a minute. But anyways, Jayson Tatum, Jaylen Brown are elite, and you saw that tonight. They're just missing things, and the big thing they're missing is Kemba Walker. And if I'm a Celtics fan, out to Celtics fans, I'm very sorry for you guys. What you're dealing with Kemba Walker sucks. He just isn't what he was in Charlotte. Although I think people did people watch a lot of Kemba Walker in Charlotte? Because it's not that different than what he was then. It was a lot of step back mid range, and I think he just wasn't quite He just doesn't look healthy. So you're not getting what he was in Charlotte, even what he was there. And I think what he was there was actually pretty freaking overrated, to be honest. But you're not even getting the overrated player that they had in Charlotte, and it sucks for Boston fans. So at least you have Marcus Smart, and I don't know if there's anything they can do with that trade exception. Danny Ainge doesn't seem to want to make a trade unless, the other guy who makes the trade is apparently doing it while drunk or something, so he gets like this insane thing. The thing that Danny Ainge needs to learn is like, to make a trade, you got to give to get. Not every trade is going to be this home run trade that everyone talks about Danny Ainge like he's this god manager. You've got to make a trade where you give and take. Both teams have to be happy, and there's not as many stupid managers in the league anymore. There just aren't. There's a couple, but even the stupidest ones are scared to lose their jobs, so they're scared to make bad trades. So they think a million times about it, and then they make a bad trade, and then they get fired. But there's just not that many of them left, Gar Forman in Chicago, he's gone. The general manager, I always forget his name, the former center, Sabonis in Sacramento. Is he still the manager there? I think he still is. He's an idiot, but maybe you can make a trade with Sacramento, Boston, I guess, if you want to fleece Boston. Although the Jazz want Harrison Barnes. Harrison Barnes should come to the Jazz. Now, let's talk to the Jazz. But before we do that, Jorge Arizaga with 50 Mexican pesos. Thank you, Jorge. If they play with intensity, I'd pay max for all our guys. Back on track. Yeah. Guess what? Who cares? If you're Ryan Smith and you have $1 million, billion, trillion, cajillion dollars, then who cares? If you can win the title, who cares? Why, as me, who goes to a day job that underpays me, and I work 9 to 5 and I get to just like barely get by with my mortgage and all these different things. Why would I care if bajillionaire owner of my team overpays a guy? Who cares? Who cares? Why? Why do we cheer our great contracts? I don't know. I mean, we do have a cap in this league, so you want to get the best value you can for the dollar amount to fit that cap. But once that guy's on your team, it doesn't matter because you can overpay. All right? You can't. So here's how the cap works. If you don't know how the cap works, let's just do a quick little cap thing. And I am not a capologist. I don't know all the things, but I am pretty clear on this. You cannot, if the cap is here, let's say the cap is $100 million, and let's say all your salaries equal up to $90 million. If you're bringing someone in free agency, you can't go over the cap with their salary. So the most you could pay them would be $10 million. So that's why you have certain people trading guys and trading contracts. And that's when contracts matter, when you want to have space to bring, if you want to bring in a $30 million guy, let's say Kevin Durant wants to join with your team and you're the Brooklyn Nets, but you only have $10 million of space, you need to clear $30 million so you can bring Kevin Durant in. And that's why you make a trade to bring Kevin Durant in. But let's say Kevin Durant's already on your team and you're the Brooklyn Nets. And he says, hey, I want to be paid $1 bajillion. Guess what? You can go over the cap if that guy is on your team. Now, if any of you is a capologist, you can let me know in the comments. You got to become a member to let me know. So join the channel. But that's how it works. And I don't know how we got off on this tangent, but someone needs to tell Danny Ainge it's sometimes okay to go over the cap. Okay? Do you want to win a title? Sometimes you got to pay Jordan a bajillion dollars if you want Chicago to go to the finals, all right? That's what you have to do. Stupid Danny Ainge took Gordon Hayward from us once upon a time. Still pissed. Let's see. Brett Robbins, Ingles emoji, by the way, I think that might be the best one. And the championship trophy. The defense tonight was so fun to watch. What a great game. Yes. Let's see, who was that? Defense. That was Shantharek, my man. This is a turning point win for the Jazz. I might agree, Lee Christensen. Furby Jr., Smart played good D, but 3 airballed. Yeah, he couldn't hit a shot. That was what was scary about Marcus Smart before the injury. He was hitting that 3 at upper 30s. He was actually scary good. Let's see. Shantharek, by the way, the Discord was fun tonight. I highly recommend coming over. It's fun to watch the game with you guys. That's right. Thank you, Shantharek. Guys, we have a Discord channel for members of the Hoops Nerd channel and everyone who watches the Hoops Nerd channel. You don't need to be a member even. I put it on the community tab. It's one of these. Go to the community tab. I put the link there and you can go chat with us during the game. It's fun. I wasn't able to go in tonight. I was busy. I had to go do a thing. So I watched the first half. I had to go do a thing. I came back, watched the second half. But anyways, I'm in there sometimes, and all you guys are in there. Just remember, in the Discord, let's be nice to each other. That's the rule. Be nice. We are not there to troll each other. We're not there to be jerks. Be nice. We're all fans of basketball, and we don't want to have problems. Key himself, $2. Just thank you, Key. Don't even say anything. Just being awesome. I love you, Key. You're amazing. A cap recap. Yes, that's what that was. I hope that made sense. So let's see. Utah Jazz. We talk about the Jazz a lot. Maybe we should talk about the Jazz tonight. Let's get focused. Literally. First off, Jordan Clarkson is fantastic. And we had a Jordan Clarkson game tonight that the Jazz needed to win this game. Jordan Clarkson's been quietly slumping a little bit lately. Like that shot, the three-point shot just hasn't been quite falling quite at the rate it was before. And so it was nice to see Jordan Clarkson tonight. Let's look at the stats. I don't even know if I care because he was just hitting big shots. But he was 5 for 10 from 3 tonight. Big time, 50%. That's monster stuff. 6 for 16 from the field. So some of those inside shots, he had that missed dunk. Some of those haven't been falling lately, strangely enough. Like his floater, which seems to just literally always go in, has not been going in as much, which is kind of weird. But he'll figure that out. But it's at least when the three-point shot is falling, he is big time. So when he's getting 20 points on 16 shots, he doesn't actually go to the free throw line. That's one thing about Clarkson is he's not a big free throw line guy, even though he leads the league in free throw percentage or something like that. But tonight he had 3, and guess what? 3 for 3. I think he's the number 1 free throw guy in the NBA. But Jordan Clarkson was massive tonight in terms of offensively. The Jazz had one of the worst starts to this game I've ever seen, and it was Bojan Bogdanovic and Donovan Mitchell just like struggling. But Bojan Bogdanovic, oh my gosh. It was so painful to watch him, and Quinn had to pull him immediately because it was like 5 to 16 right off the bat, and it was Bojan, man. And Donovan Mitchell too. Donovan Mitchell tonight, it only had 2 turnovers, but I wish there was a stat that said bad decisions, BD. There was like my decisions in college, bad decisions, and he made a lot of them tonight. At least in the end of the game, Donovan Mitchell showed up nicely to help finish that off. He hit some big shots, but man, some of Mitchell's decision-making, especially like since All-Star break and in this like 7-game period where the Jazz have struggled, his decision-making has been, when it was during the winning streak, Donovan was just like elite, just a monster. But currently, like lately, the decisions haven't been good. But the shot fell tonight, and it was big. And those were big shots with Marcus Smart coming at him full speed. So that was impressive from Donovan. But Bojan Bogdanovic, at least he hit a nice shot at the end. It looked like, honestly, he looked unplayable in that first quarter. It looked, I'm not even kidding. Like, would it have been different if 5'8" portly James Hansen was on the court? Would have been much different because it was 2 turnovers and like he wouldn't shoot the ball and he was airballing it. It was bad. It was really bad. So it was nice to see Bojan come in the second half. He had a nice little post play. He hit an open 3. For the game, he ended up, Bojan Bogdanovic 1 for 5 from 3. So that 1-3 was nice. First half, it was like 0 for 4. It was an 0-4. It was bad. 6 rebounds, 2 assists, 12 points. He was only a -1. So you will take that. Some of that is because Quinn finally pulled him. Quinn finally adjusted. Thank you for adjusting, Quinn. Thank you. Furby Jr., $2. It's Haywood. It's Gorban J. Wood. Gorban Craywood. I can't remember his name. That loser. We got to talk about Derek Favors, by the way. So I wrote the pregame for SLC Dunk for before this game. You can go check it out. Maybe some of you had already read it or were on the threads on SLC Dunk, perhaps. There's 2 guys during this last 6-game winning streak that had the worst net rating on the Jazz. If you don't know what net rating is, we won't go over it. We've already had a cap discussion today. But it's just how well your team does when you're on the floor, if you're positive or negative. The net rating, Derek Favors, of all the players on the Jazz who play significant minutes, he was the worst net rating in this 6-game stretch. He had been in those games where the Jazz lost 4 of their last 6. He was terrible, just terrible. And who was second worst? Bojan Bogdanovic, just terrible. And I don't know what's worse because Bojan plays with Rudy Gobert. A lot of the time when Bojan's on the floor, he is with Rudy Gobert. So the fact that his net rating is that bad with Rudy tells you, It was bad. So nice to see Bojan look a little more confident in the second half. Hopefully he can build on that. But tonight, Derek Favors was awesome. Derek Favors was awesome tonight. It looked like a completely different player. I don't know if any of you guys noticed that, but it looked literally like the last 6 games, we just saw someone different. And I don't know if it's a cortisone shot in the knee, if it's a mental thing, if it's tiredness, if it's a mental fatigue with like all the things going on with the Jazz. They had that investigation with Dennis Lindsey, and they had the All-Star break where players are getting played last and disrespected and all these different things going on. So I don't know if it was that or if he's hurting. To me, he honestly looked hurt and just couldn't jump. But I don't know if it's because he couldn't or wouldn't. I don't know what's going on. But what was nice is that he played really well tonight. Really, really well. Tonight for Utah, we don't even need to really read the stats because he's the backup center, but 3 for 4 from the field. Solid production, 5 rebounds, 4 of those offensive rebounds, 2 steals. That right there, 2 steals, that's a big tell. By the way, if you're ever doing scouting, steals is the thing to look at because steals tells you someone's affecting the game. They're impacting a game. So 2 steals for someone I thought looked injured with either a back or a knee or something is a big deal. So it was really nice to see Derek Favors look like the Derek Favors Jazz fans know and love. Clay Harris, I like Betraywood, $2.99. Thank you, Clay. I appreciate it. Betraywood is very good. You know what it's better than? Stayword, or whatever that was. Thumbs down for anyone who donated $5 to that stupid billboard. Oh my gosh. If there's any $5 I want back, it's that $5. Skymaster, $5. Thank you, Skymaster. That's a cool name, Skymaster. Excited to be a part of the team. Welcome to the team, my man. Did it tell me that you joined? Oh yes, welcome to Rookie, Skymaster. There you go. Welcome to the team, Skymaster. I appreciate it. And also $5. Thank you, sir. I really appreciate it. Welcome to Rookie. Thank you. Let's see. Judas Furby Jr. I call him Judas Haywood also. I like it. Let's see. So that's what I had to say about those guys. By the way, another guy, and he's just, honestly, you can never really talk enough about how he's been this year. He's been amazing, and I didn't realize that he was number 4 in the league in three-point percentage, but Joe Ingles is just having an incredible season. He's incredible. And what's so nice, and we've seen it in the past where he kind of struggled in the 6-man role. Ingles off the bench tonight, 5 for 9 from the field, 4 for 8 from 3. He is just banging those threes. 5 rebounds. Let's see. 5 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 steal, 14 points, a plus 13. One below Rudy Gobert for biggest plus minus on the team. Rudy Gobert, by the way, plus 14. He's a freaking monster. And tonight you got to see it. He was the best, and that's what we'll end on is Rudy Gobert. But first, Ingles is having an incredible year. He's doing this off the bench, so that is magnificent, and that's probably part of why Derek Favors is so valuable to this team because of that camaraderie he has with Ingles. Plus, Ingles has kind of learned how to play with that group on the floor with Jordan Clarkson, George Niang, who came in. And George Niang had a nice little night tonight. I think he had 2 buckets. One of those was a 3, 5 points, and plus 7. George Niang has become a nice little, nice role player for this team. He's been really, really solid. You don't hear a lot of complaining about George Niang lately anymore. So nice to see George Niang do so well. But Joe Ingles has been a monster. 25 minutes. He just gives you solid minutes. He looks like the Joe Ingles that helped Utah win that Oklahoma City series. And he's the guy that doesn't get a lot of press. Like tonight on TNT, it was fun and they brought Jordan Clarkson and Jordan Clarkson deserves that accolade and that attention. But Joe Ingles is quietly one of the most important players on this team. Night in and night out. Night in and night out. Ingles is big time for the Jazz. And finally, let's just talk about Rudy Gobert. He's the defensive player of the year. I don't know why the NBA is pushing this stupid Ben Simmons thing, but anyone who watched the game tonight realized or, saw and witnessed why Rudy Gobert is just such a dominant player in this NBA. He's a top 10, top 15 player. He just is. He impacts everything. And when he's going against someone, and Rudy Gobert is at an elite level where he's just like dominating on defense and guarding on the perimeter and affecting shots on the he'll guard Jayson Tatum at the 3-point line and affect the shot. If they drive on him, he goes to the rim and he will block it. He is an elite. He's the best defender in the NBA, and I don't care what the Nationals say. I don't care what NBA.com says. People who watch this stuff, like look at the analytics and look at the defensive numbers that say he's the best player, and then you watch him and you say, oh yeah, he is the best defensive player. That's why the numbers tell us he's the best defensive player, because when you watch him, he's out of this world. He's incredible. He does so many things on the floor. And anyone who says that all he does is protect the rim, no, he doesn't. You could put Rudy Gobert on Jayson Tatum. You could have Rudy just run around guarding Jayson Tatum. And guess what? He could do it. And he would swallow him up, just like Doc Rivers talked about Ben Simmons. That's not what Rudy Gobert does. Because guess what? Rudy Gobert can do more than one thing. He can guard the rim and your best perimeter player. All right? He can do it both. He can do it both. That's why he's the most effective defensive player we've seen since Bill Russell. He's unreal. He's the best defensive player on the NBA. It's not even close. It's not close. Sure, Ben Simmons is a really nice first-team all-defense wing defender. He is not the defensive player of the year. Sorry. I'm sorry. Rudy Gobert affects everything. And he guards everyone. Guess what? He is guarding the entire team. Why? Because anytime anyone comes near him, he is guarding them as well as his man. He is guarding both guys. And he is so long and he moves he is deceptively quick because he's got those long strides. It's like a freaking giraffe, but he moves like a giraffe with some substances, and he gets to people on the perimeter quickly. And he blocks the shot. And if you drive on him, he's going to the rim with you and he's blocking it. And if you pass it to the next guy, his second jump is out of this world. He will block both of you multiple times. He can guard everyone. He's Mr. Fantastic from Fantastic Four. Those arms go everywhere and they stop everything. And guess what? He got stronger every single year. So you can't overpower him. You can't. And he will dominate you. If you don't watch out for Rudy Gobert, you will get dominated. And tonight, Rudy Gobert, let's see. Rudy Gobert, 5 for 6 from the field, 12 rebounds, 1 assist, 4 block shots, 3 fouls, 16 points. Just absolutely dominant. And by the way, that's the other thing. Rudy Gobert's passing this year has been out of this world. Tonight he had like 4 incredible passes where he gets the ball in the pick and roll and he moves that ball to the 3-point shooter. And it was awesome. It was awesome. Because guess what? It does not matter if Rudy Gobert scores 5 points or 25 points. When that ball is moving and he's doing what he does, it opens things up for everyone. And tonight, if you go watch that game again, go watch it. Go get League Pass. And if you're in Utah, you have to wait 3 days. But if you're in somewhere else, if you're Jorge Arizaga in Mexico, you could watch it tonight. Go watch the game and watch how many times he goes to the rim. It grabs every single defender that guards him, and then he moves it out. It was amazing tonight. How, unreal. It was, I just can't say enough about how good Rudy Gobert has been. His passing is becoming such a weapon for this team, and it's one of those things this year that is getting everything for the Jazz going. It really is. Last year, Rudy Gobert was trying to prove that he was the Supermax player, and it affected what he was doing offensively, because tonight he made 3 or 4 passes that were awesome that he would not have made last year. Because guess what? He would have tried to force it at the rim, and he probably would have made a few of them here and there because he's so long and he is a talented player, but most of them don't work out. And so by him passing the ball out, you're getting a better shot. And it's fantastic. Clay Harris, welcome to the channel, man. Clay Harris, welcome to Rookie. I appreciate it. Welcome to everyone, by the way. Everyone who's joined, you're awesome. I appreciate it. It's amazing. But anyways, Rudy Gobert, just a dominant force in this league. And he's fun to watch. And he does incredible things every night that just go, unnoticed. But man, tonight on TNT, when the lights were brightest, Rudy Gobert absolutely dominated. He's the reason the Jazz won. And he's probably the best player on the team, honestly. He really just is. Everything is designed around him. Just like once upon a time it was Hayward, everything is kind of is designed around Rudy Gobert setting pick and rolls and rolling to the rim, opening things up for Donovan Mitchell, who is an elite scorer, and Mike Conley. And now that you have Rudy Gobert passing that ball out and getting to open shooters, and that ball is able to move around the perimeter and get to an open shot, it's beautiful, beautiful basketball. Guys, that's all I got to say. Let's see. Adrian Harrington, Utah deserves to win the championship this year, especially how they did the Jazz in '98. I agree. This is the year, guys. This is the year. And I think the Jazz need to make a trade. I know the one guy, and you probably all know who I'm thinking about, that they need to move, because I think that we could go out and get a Harrison Barnes or a Larry Nance. Larry Nance, I love the idea of Larry Nance, by the way. It would help with our cap situation. If you like the cap situation to be good, if that floats your boat. But anyways, guys, that's all I got to say tonight. Everyone who's been in, everyone who donated, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Look, there's a giraffe emoji. How did you get a giraffe emoji in there, Robert Hall? How did you even do that? That's great. But finish the game with Ingles instead of Bogey. Yes, I actually agree. Although I don't, during the regular season, I want to rest Ingles as much as I can, because Ingles is a big time guy in the playoffs. He's going to be super valuable. But you know what? Let's get Larry Nance on this team. Let's get Harrison Barnes. And guess what? I'd like to win a title. You know what would be super cool? Winning a title, or free Urson. I wouldn't mind that. But guess what? You need to play Boyan until you either trade him or he figures it out, one or the other. Guys, that's all I got tonight. This was really fun. You guys are the best. Thank you to all the new members. Thank you for the current members. Let's give a shout out before I forget and be a bad channel owner or whatever. Let's see. I got to give a shout out to the All-Stars. So let's see. Big shout out to Mitt Roback. Oh, joined 1 day ago. Welcome to the channel, Mitt. Welcome to All-Star, baby. You make this happen. Welcome to Thank you to DW2CB. Thank you. Is that for Darren Williams? Maybe. Oh, Darren Williams to Carlos Boozer. Yeah, that's right. I think you said that in our chat the other day. Jorge Arizaga. Gracias, mi amigo. Lee Christensen. Shan Therick. Ryan Perry. Justin Ty H. Patrick Akubo, Robert Hall, DW, Jazz going all the way, and David Lee. You guys are awesome, amazing. I appreciate it. Thank you for joining the channel. You make this all possible. I appreciate everyone. Remember, if you're new to here and you're just seeing this for the first time, like and subscribe to the channel. And if you want to join the channel and talk and chat, click join right there. Remember, guys, there's the Discord to watch during games, to get hyped up, and then and enjoy our company. It's fun to talk to fellow fans of both the Jazz and of basketball in general. Welcome to the channel. I don't know what I'm saying. It started off weird. It's going to end weird. Guys,